on document 45.com/8, which will remain open until 29th July for the adoption of the draft decision. This does not concern the examination of the individual nomination files under item 8B, which will start this morning as scheduled. The committee will then continue with the examination of item 8A on tentative lists. Regarding item 8B on nominations that will follow, please note that considering the withdrawals received, we have 27 nominations to examine between today and Monday morning, as well as 13 minor boundary modification proposals. I hope we will strictly apply the foreseen schedule. As you know, we have received a nomination dossier to examine on an emergency basis. For this specific case, the Bureau recommends that after hearing the presentation by the Secretariat and the advisory bodies, the floor will be given to the author to present the amendment submitted and circulated to you a few days ago, which has garnered large support. Once the draft decision is adopted and if the site is inscribed, I will then give the floor to the state party concerned for a statement up to 4 minutes on its nomination. I will subsequently grant the floor to committee members only. To this extent, I will ask for the cooperation of all. Furthermore, the Bureau heard from the State Party of Japan that an agreement has been reached on its nomination with the State Party of the Republic of Korea. In this regard, and considering the nature of this nomination, the Bureau agreed to grant to 4 minutes each to the state parties for their statements, which means up to 4 minutes to Japan to make its statement and up to 4 minutes to the Republic of Korea to make their statement. The Bureau agreed that this should not set a precedent for future nominations. Thank you. Please also be informed that for some of the nominations of cultural sites recommended for inscription, the presentation by ECOMOS will be delivered through pre-recorded videos. I also wish to remind you that as announced yesterday, the Secretariat has uploaded on the session's webpage a provisional daily timetable concerning nominations. Last but not the least, the Bureau also heard a report from Ms. Chiara Franco, chairperson of the Working Group on the Budget, on the advancement of work of the group, which held its first meeting yesterday. The group will meet again today from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the Bureau meeting room. Thank you very much. We will now start with our agenda item 8, devoted to the nomination process and to the draft decision 46.8. I invite Mr. Alessandro Balsamo, head of the nominations unit of the World Heritage Center, to briefly present document 46.com/8. Mr. Balsamo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Document 8 presents overall topics concerning the nomination process for inscription on the World Heritage List. And this year is divided in 4 main topics. The first part concerns the relationship between the preliminary assessment and the upstream process for a specific site. Both mechanisms, despite different modi operandi, imply guidance at an early stage and capacity building of state parties in developing high-quality nominations and establishing the feasibility of a potential nomination. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary redundancy in the nomination process, it is proposed that the nomination of sites that have been subjected to an upstream process on a specific site be exempted from the preliminary assessment. In order to align the two processes, the upstream process report for a specific site will be relevant for up to 5 years. The draft decision presents the proposed changes to the operational guidelines that are necessary to take this extraction into account. Part 2 of the document presents the preliminary assessment request received by 15 September 2023, and this was the first deadline of submission of requests since the inclusion of the new procedure in the operational guidelines, and was only on a fully voluntary basis.